And we're rolling.
Awesome. All right, everybody, so today we're going to talk a little bit about some elbow things. So I know a lot of my clients who are big benchers and big squatters have a lot of issues with their elbow. I traditionally have a lot of issues with my elbow as well. So we're going to talk about a couple of things that you can do to help get your elbows prepped before a session and some sort of self-care stuff to help you not have garbage elbows.
All right.
Technical term,
garbage elbows.
Yeah.
So quick kind of structural overview. You have the hand attaches to the radius attaches to the ulna, and then ulna has the major structural attachment to the humerus. So you also have a little bit of radius on humeral action that has kind of the most amount of motion, which allows me to do this. So a lot of the stuff we're going to do basically is wrap around that. So first thing you do is you grab a towel. If you do have janky elbows, garbage elbows? Garbage
or
elbows.
janky.
You know, you can grab a towel, you can put it right in the crook of the arm, make sure it's shoved right down in there, then try and relax the arm, and you can kind of gap it back and forth, kind of like a clock, and see if there's any little spots that feel a little bit stretchy, maybe a little bit achy. Don't want this to be super painful. And as you're doing it, you basically want your hand to kind of face you a little bit. You don't want to do this because then you're just kind of jamming it in there. So that's thing number one. It can help for a lot of different things. Sometimes people feel a stretch back of the elbow or somewhere on the outside of the elbow. The other thing to consider here is that when you're prepping for elbow stuff, one of the heads of the tricep actually attaches to my shoulder blade. So you also want to do some elbow things up here, which if you're doing multi-sports like strongman and powerlifting, and you just come off of a powerlifting cycle and suddenly you're starting to do dumbbell, you're starting to do jerking, it's something that you can consider. So doing some foam rolling through kind of the back of the arm, always a good idea if that works for you. The other thing I really like, especially for people who are doing overhead as well as benching, is, let me get back in frame, is you start a band, you have it pull, and then you just control all the way out into full extension. Lock out, make sure that it's nice and comfortable, and then just go back and forth. Because in a lot of times, especially when we're trying to do maximum power, maximum speed, we just push as hard as we can, and then we kind of snap into that lockout without a lot of control, which over many, many repetitions can irritate a couple things.
Also, if you're a very hypermobile athlete through your shoulders, this is usually a problem that you run into where you're just like, this is fine, I'm up here, right? Not necessarily the greatest place to be hanging off your shoulder blade like this. Like this for me is comfortable and not weird. To everybody else, it's weird and uncomfortable. So if you are somebody who does a lot of overhead work and you find yourself just sort of like Chris said, snapping into that overhead position in a not controlled manner, that is a great one to help you sort of feel that control and get better at that.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the frontline things that I usually go for. Mm-hmm. What else?
So some other things that I personally like and recommend to my athletes is to do some single arm lat warm-ups with a band with a twisting sort of grip here. That is a great one. You can also use a cable machine for that. Very controlled band push down to get some blood flow into the triceps. Supersetting that with some very light dumbbell hammer curls. Again, very strict. Keep the elbows tucked in here. Just move up and down very slowly just to help you get a little pump in the biceps and triceps. Get some blood flow in there before your pressing sessions.
Cool.
Awesome.